Carl's mic. Hey ho. Somebody say something amazing.
Something amazing.
There it is. I just wish you guys could be more inventive. Welcome back. Sorry about that. We heard a total fuck out in the Matrix. Great. So, Vince, you were summarizing. Welcome back.
Summarizing running a semi-successful do-it-yourself cheap ad campaign. Yes.
Go.
Followers are not a bad place to start, but it's not where you want to end up. You don't want to be running ads for followers all the time because most people just want to look at your stuff and not necessarily do anything with it. They're just there for the show of your social media, for that matter. So what you want to do is try to run ads that are going to drive people to a website or another piece of content somewhere else, therefore expanding your reach as far as the viewer is concerned. They see you as something bigger, or they have an opportunity to purchase something. Either way helps immensely. You want to research the top hashtags being used for whatever it is you're doing. Use those to research people with interests in those things, so you know what interests to select, and go through who's interacted with your content once you've got some followers and find out where those people are. Location, audience, interests. That's the three things you're going to need to know, and the hashtags tie into all of it. With the recent addition of AI to search engines, where you can literally just ask it a question, that helps immensely with finding hashtags. I actually just did this for a friend of mine recently. She's trying to sell art, like physical paintings and stuff, online, and not getting a whole lot of reaction out of stuff. I haven't told her yet, but I looked up the hashtags she should be using for it, and I got to put together a list and send her a thing. So I'm going to see how this applies in other areas as well.
Love it.
Not see how my approach works on things other than music by offering someone else some potentially good advice.
Okay, that's good. So thank you very much, Razzie. Go.
I'm just so fucking sick of PR campaigns and these sort of vague throw money into a thing and no chart of ROI or what you're spending it on and what you're getting back for having done so. I like the vibe of gaining followers. I like the vibe of attention. I think that's great. But I just am at my end of trying to figure out how that translates into something that was worth doing. It just, the 5 cents per click for a 0.5 cent potentially stream, where you're really probably down to 0.1 cent, judging by the number of people that actually complete that stream, just isn't making sense. I know that there's brand awareness and name building and stuff that's essential. But one of these little trends that's going on right now that we know about because they say so on Sideline and postpunk.com is you pay and they write an article. So this dude, I'm reading, Michael Corrente from Purple Bite PR. I contacted a few weeks ago, and they take a fee and they guarantee placement. They just take your money. 5,500, depends on the size of the campaign. But in our preliminary meetings, he took the time to do some targeting stuff and tell me about the relationships he had with pay for placement article writers and stuff. And if nothing else, at least you get the well-written, hopefully, article and their attention for a week or a month. And it's a done transaction, and it's a guarantee with money back. And you don't get that from PR. You don't get that from ads anywhere, really. So it's got some appeal. I don't know if it's got a traceable ROI like I'm pining for in the beginning of my little complaint here, but you come away with some specific guaranteed results that you can then assess whether it did what they said they were going to do for the $500, $5,000, $1,000 bucks. That's more than I want to spend on a campaign right now, but So we ended the discussion kind of right there for this one. But in the future, there might be something to it. I know that there are some, I've only done this for other clients and not in the music area, ways to actually track the entire targeting, retargeting, and funnel for goals. Google tools will do that in Google Ads and stuff, is where my experience has been. And you can see what you spent versus what your successful goals were, what your actual conversions were. And that is the stuff that fucking does my head in. Even trying to remember those words to say them is just blah. So yeah, please argue back with success stories in doing that. But spending money and throwing it into the PR campaign for $2,000 where they may place some stuff, they may not. That is repulsive in so many ways. And maybe there's a future in, guaranteed placement. And it's weird, but maybe it's good.
Okay, may I? Here's my thoughts on this. There are a lot of industrial magazines that do this sort of thing, and I say good on them. Regen has a banner campaign that is excessively cheap. I think that I'm just at a point now where I would rather throw $100, $50 at Regen for a banner campaign that anyone may or may not click on, knowing that it's helping Regen keep going, then throw it at Facebook, who doesn't give a shit, and blah, 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 blah. I think that's where I'm at now, and that doesn't help with return on investment. That doesn't help with any of this shit. I guess I've just entered this point with marketing of just complete desperation that I'm so used to. Everybody in PR is a liar. If they're taking your money, they're a liar. If they're making any fucking claims, they're lying to you. I would rather spend money on Possession Magazine or Sideline or Regen, who I mentioned, or Brutal Resonance, to say, here is my thing to keep our tribe going. Because, still, when I'm looking at the when I'm tracing the numbers coming back into Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is actually saying people who clicked on this link from this website yielded a total of this much money. Then taking into consideration they bought something worth $20 and the components in it cost me $10. It's a hopeless loss. Newsletters are the number one thing that works. My newsletter. You can have a newsletter too at Bandcamp. It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free. When you put up a track for free and you give it away for free and they give you their email, that works. Because it's where people go to buy. So, you might be losing $5. If you sold that track, you're going to sell 3 of them. So that's $3 or $5. But if you offer it as a free download on a Bandcamp Friday, you're going to download 50. And that's 50 emails that you can then send out information to, which because of the spam filters on Bandcamp, there's a super high chance it's going to make it to the people. Better than MailChimp. Super high chance it's going to make it. And because it's Bandcamp and people go there to buy and support music, you've just got your audience and it costs you nothing. Or if you want to count how much money you lost by giving tracks away, it is actually the cheapest thing because it was a digital fucking track anyway. As much as I hate Bandcamp, there's some bloody good things about it. So that's it. That's my whole life right there. Ivan, go.
Yeah, for advertising campaigns and even like sending a newsletter or like pretty much anything that requires a click through, like put unique metadata on those clicks and collect that unique metadata and then use that for informatics. Yeah, back in the day, worked for a company that, we did a lot of web hosting for a lot of different companies, and they did a lot of advertising for a lot of stuff. And like the companies that were good at using web trends were good at advertising as a result. The better you were at that, the better your information was, and the better things were. When I started at Midway, like, they were counting hits, and I immediately had problems with what they were doing because those numbers don't actually make any sense whatsoever. And it got them switched over to understanding what click-throughs were, and time on site, and if they actually watched through an entire video instead of clicking on it and then clicking away. And I used to joke about us having so much information about the visitors to the site that we knew what browser they were using, we knew what IP address they came from, we knew where they were in the world, we knew the color of their eyes, and which handed they were, and may have occasionally made jokes about knowing which porn sites I like to visit the most. Maybe some other even more mean-spirited jokes, but like they were all meant, it was all meant to just show off how good the tech was. Because the technology on the tech side, like all that stuff, all the things you want, they're available. It's all available. And the better you use it, the better you'll get at, because it will help you steer what you're doing in the most effective direction. But it is all down to charts and graphs.
Thanks, man. Aaron.
What I would definitely recommend too, and I mean this kind of pulls everybody's knowledge, but it's take an hour a week just to do your taxes, so to speak. Do the things that are, okay, I'm going to spend, half hour to make sure that I plug all of the things ever, draft up all the hashtags, all the descriptors, everything that I possibly have within that half hour, so I can go through my checklist, Twitter, Facebook, and then spend that other half hour, and this could be while you're jamming to music, but the other half hour is analytics to see what kind of feedback you've had and what's made the biggest splash, etc. But what I think is ironic is people spend so much time doing all of this mentally taxing shit that they hate, but they don't spend as much time on doing the things they love. So to that end, if you've already got those Bandcamp links and those email addresses, like that is gold, man. I used to teach martial arts, and the part that I fucking hated was going through a clipboard of names that people just signed up on the spot, just here's my name, here's my phone, but you had to cold call them, and that may have been way out of their mind, and they're not even thinking about it anymore, and there's no real connection there, and you're just calling people on the whim, and it fucking sucks because you're just trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel, see who's interested, who's not, and you might go through a list of 30 names of cold calls and you don't have shit to show for it. But in the modern age of, actually people that actually garner an interest or have gravitated towards your page, or if they clicked on things on Bandcamp, like everybody's been saying, to actively support you, and they sought you out in some form or fashion, then that should further incentivize you to just do a little bit of homework every week to be like, oh, fuck yeah, okay, yeah, that's working good. Or I've already got, something I get excited about, but I need to formulate it into words, and I need to send it to people instead of, whatever, just kind of randomly shooting in the dark.
Yes. Totally. Vince, go.
I just wanted to I had another quick note about Bandcamp. They were recently bought by Epic Games.
By who?
And Fortnite, the game, actually has a radio station in the game. If you get in a vehicle and you're driving a car, it plays music from Bandcamp. They have an entire Bandcamp-based radio station in the video game. So Bandcamp could. I mean, I'm not saying necessarily any of us would make it on there, except maybe around Halloween because they do some weird shit then. But like, it does give you a shot if you've got something that picks up a little traction and somebody at Bandcamp's parent company notices. They'll throw it into a playlist in their video game. So that gets you a shot at even more exposure through them. So Bandcamp really does have a lot going on.
Go Bandcamp. And remember, if you do want to get your stuff played immediately right now, MTV TV. I keep putting my hand up, and it keeps putting my hand down. So I'm just going to interrupt. Thank you so much, Vince. The biggest thing that is taxing to me is our friends, acquaintances, who need to say smart-ass things in your posts. And that's the thing that really gets me down. You know, you make a post about something, and this is a post about it. This is a buy my shit so I can pay my rent post. About my products, about what I do. That's what gets me down. Is somebody saying something, haha, just kidding, but it's like, but you're not though, you cunt. Saying something shitty. And you just got to, don't reply to them, hide the comment, keep going. And it's real fucking hard. It's real fucking hard when somebody wants to take a dig at you and you already think that you're not exactly brimming with confidence. Ivan, go.
Yeah, no, I totally, yeah, you're gonna want to hide that stuff. You get it out of your feed. Also, those people are not your friends. I'm going to, the mechanics of marketing, find ways to weaponize FOMO.
I don't understand. I know what FOMO, fear of missing out, but I don't.
Weaponize that.
Well, talk to me. Give me an example of how somebody would weaponize that.
Dead seriously afraid of
missing of your music, not a stadium. Your music.
Yes.
How do I do? How would you do this for your music, not for The Cure or for Ministry? But for your band. Go.
Yeah. No. And you can do things like next week, Friday at blah time o'clock. There's going to be a Zoom. It's going to be this amazing, and it's not getting recorded. You have to be there live. Or on Twitch, wherever. We've got new T-shirts. We've made 50 of them. We've done things. There's a limited supply or a limited time frame, and if you don't get in, you missed. Game over. And I would say make it serious so that people really understand that once they've missed, there's no unmissing it. They're going to have to go get that in the gray market for a whole lot more money, because now it's a collector's, vinyl disc or something, or a collector's collected piece of art. Who knows? There's a lot of opportunity there. I mean, really, really weaponizing the fear of missing out is probably one of the easiest tools for us to access, because it doesn't cost that much. But the power, once you get good at it, the power of it is tremendous. I mean, it works amazingly well for restaurants.
But you're not a restaurant. You're an industrial band, so I want you to talk about industrial bands.
And I don't think that they're too far apart. I know a number of amazingly good places to eat that their hours that they're open are tiny compared to McDonald's, and that causes the line outside of them to grow by blocks.
Okay.
People are willing to wait hours to eat at a place that they know they don't want to miss out on it, and they know it's going to be good, and they will not leave that line, for any reason. Like, it just won't happen, and it can be as January and as freezing rain as it wants to be. That line will still be long. And so, building that kind of, you have a one-time chance to take part in this amazing thing is there's certain value in that. And I pointed this out to the rest of the band last year. One of the big tricks that like the big industrial acts have managed to accomplish is through their music they're telling a story, and or they're telling a joke, and fill in the blank. They know a secret, and they're by you being there or by you listening, you're being let in on that secret, and there's it's kind of an important perspective to have.
Yeah, it's a good marketing thing for sure. Thank you very much, Rezi. Go.
Ivan, I don't think that we're talking about FOMO here. I think that we are talking about something that is actually very difficult to do in the case of restaurants, and also in the case of what we're doing right here. The only thing I personally feel any compulsion that I might be missing something is our weekly thing here. And this is a very unique and difficult situation that Carl has cultivated and we've all contributed to over a very long time, with something you can't get anywhere else. But being like, there's 50 t-shirts, I'll get the next one, they're going to repress it, who knows. But the moment of a live thing that, I can watch the recording, but anyway. I think in the same way, I'm sorry, I'll let you jump back in a sec. The thing that we're talking about with the restaurants is also like a very unique proposition that, sure, their hours are shorter, but it's the food that somebody went to Johnson and Wales for 3 years to figure out, or got their James Beard Award to do something like in this dish that's beautiful and unique, and you're going to experience and consume in reality at once. I don't know if FOMO's dead, but there is so much choice and saturation among the things that we can offer as small artists with small budgets that is gotta be personality and unique proposition of our own craft and creativity based. And I don't think you necessarily disagree, but I just wanted to shift it a little bit toward those ideas. Please jump back in if you want.
Having some things that are rarities that if you weren't there, you're not going to be able to ever be there.
But with a very complicated and deliberate creative.
And I'm not claiming this is easy. Proposition. This is not easy, but it's available. It's something that can be achieved. It's like, I just look at the latest Skinny Puppy tour. Selling out rooms after rooms after rooms because nobody wanted to not be there.
This is interesting. This is kind of, for want of a better term, hit a nerve. Vince, go. I'm going to go after you, Vince. A good nerve.
I think by tapping into the concept of FOMO to be able to advertise and get people to think they're getting something exclusive they're not going to be getting anywhere else. Even a live event, there's going to be things from that people are going to be able to get later. Like, even if you try to make it as exclusive as possible, the internet exists. There's going to be content from it available later, no matter what you do, without an extreme amount of money to pay for security to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's not something people in positions like us can really do. So I don't feel like it applies as much to us, especially considering the inclusivity that we try to foster in this scene. You don't want to be cutting people out. That's not really a great way to market. It's at best ethically questionable based on the goals of what we're trying to do as a community, the industrial community in general, especially the underground industrial community. Like, we want people in on it. We don't want people to be in on it because they think somebody else isn't. We want people to be in on it because it's a thing that people are in on. Like, that's the whole point. So I don't think scarcity mindset and weaponizing FOMO is necessarily a good way for people in our little corner of the industry to go about things and achieve any kind of lasting impact on our fans or the business as a whole?
This is a fascinating topic. It's fascinating because I'm listening to this from the perspective of somebody who goes, if I wanted to create a piece of merch, the minimum run is 50, and I'm going to be working hard to sell those 50. And I don't consider that I've learned, how do I put this? It's very, very hard selling merch. For example, like the album, the vinyl, I'm printing 150 of them. The tapes, I'm printing 50. The CD will probably be 200. I'm not going to sell out of them. And although the FOMO thing, I think, is a really important, like, it's a really strong marketing tool, and I'm just trying to figure out loud how to. The problem is that everything which has already been stated is online, and the only way I could do something that would be, I'm going to do something, and if you miss out, you're never going to see it, would be in a yurt in the middle of the desert, and you're not, and I'm serious, you're not allowed into it with a phone. No phones, no recording devices. Everybody gets a little safe. You put your phone in a plastic bag, and that goes into a safe. You're not allowed in. This will only be spoken of in spoken word or drawings that people make. Because, and I would be so interested. Fuck, man, I would do that. And I would do a live ANGELSPIT'S set similar to Noyan Barton with a blaster beam, a whole bunch of 44-gallon drums, and all sorts of acquirement of noise. And then the next question is, why don't I? Well, I don't have I don't have a support crew around me to do this. I don't have it.
I thought for sure you were going to say you don't have a yurt.
Well, I know getting a yurt would be easier than the support crew required. I have zero fucking support. Thanks, Demolition Man. Here in the great city of LA, I have no one to call on. Oh, I do, but I'd have to pay them so much because LA is incredibly flaky. Oops, Carl just went into a LA rant. And it is flaky, but that's not the point here. That would be the only thing I could think of. To have a retreat over a weekend, because every single thing else involves a minimum order, and if it's too small, I can't afford to do it. It involves someone recording it, bootlegged badly with bad audio and bad everything that's going to get onto the web. I would love to be doing some incredible experience that, oh my god, I would fucking love that. But I don't, you know, and what would be incredible is if there were only 12 people allowed in, or 20 people. That's it. That this is going to be the most incredible thing of your life. And then we're going to be fucking chanting and looking for UFOs or something. That would be awesome. Yes, that would be awesome. We are going to, what is it? A5? What do they call the meditation thing that actually talks to aliens? A5? I5 or something? Yeah, there's a meditation thing that they do, which talks connects with extraterrestrials, and it's fucking crazy. But my point is, that's the thing. Although, kind of making a similar thing to that is, and Demolition Man kindly said he's stoked about the cassette tape. Putting stuff on cassettes and vinyl that is not available anywhere else. Like a lot of the cuts on the vinyl, they're different cuts. They're different versions of the songs. There's content on stuff that unfortunately CDs can get ripped, but that's not available anywhere else. So that's, I don't know. I guess fear of missing out of an experience. And my big question is, how do you make that experience? Like, how do you make a fucking Tangerine Dream playing in a church full of candles experience.
Carl,
Yeah.
if you're willing to not necessarily do it in LA, I actually have connections to a large local activist community here that would probably organize and mostly promote something like that almost free.
Awesome. Do they have a yurt?
For free. I might see. Maybe not, but possibly. It is definitely.
What's the point?
These people have lots of things. Okay, like, it's very anti-capitalist.
Okay,
like,
that would be
lack of-
interesting.
So
that
they
would be-
may get right behind your stuff when they hear like what exactly you're talking about.
Yeah. So I guess that I went on a rant there, and I apologize, and thank you, Vince. That it is sincerely something I'm interested in. The question that you need to ask yourself is, what do you offer that for you is an amazing experience? Because that's what everybody wants. People are on the internet because they're bored. Everybody is bored. They're depressed because they're bored, and chemicals. We're not going there again. Bored, fucking bored. Everybody is bored. And sure, shock, it's great. Shock tactics, all about it. But people want an experience, and they want a connectivity to their soul, and they want to feel awake for a moment. What can you do that will do that? And if you can do that, you're moving forward. I'm ranting, and we've only got a few minutes left, but here's Aaron.
Hey, so in the realm of what you could do versus what you should do, I think a huge avenue is Patreon or something in the like. And I've been very steadfast and adamant about the priority is Patreon. Like the people that are literally helping to pay for production of Grim and masks and skellies and all kind of things, they get first crack. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Yeah, it's a little bit like it might sting where people may like, hey, you want to promote it anywhere, everywhere. As soon as it's done, send it. My priority is Patreon. Everything else comes several days later, maybe even a week later, to where like I want that exclusivity. I want my Patreon supporters to feel appreciated, and I want them to get that unique experience that no one else gets. And it's via Google Drive links or whatever else that's very much privatized. But then I could expand to the world everywhere else, with something of an anecdote to denote or announce. The Patreon supporters already know about this and this, but it's time you heard a little bit about it, So I think that's a good way to tip the hat to your avid supporters, your true bloodline, and then you could start a trickle-down effect to other people, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying it's a good avenue to kind of bridge either or, instead of just shooting in the dark and hoping you hit something, or you might have posted something for the world first that you think everybody's going to gel with, and they don't. So I think I'd rather lean toward the people that have sought it out and actively supported it via Patreon versus just prioritizing the world at mass and just holding my breath and crossing my fingers that everyone's going to get it, if that makes sense. It's just supporters first, then it trickles down to everybody else.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Does anybody else want to drop in at this point? Or are we going to write to MTV TV? I see Rezzy's hand.
I do like the notion of Patreon, and I think that there are a surprising percentage of people willing to, and Bandcamp has this feature too, pay a little bit more just to support all your shit that you're doing because they dig what you put out, and to give them first crack, I think is a super satisfying way to I'm just underscoring, Aaron, what you said. I vibe with it. I hate giving that much to Jack Conte for any reason. I mean, I like some of the stuff he's doing, but it's just like it's expensive for what it does. And they're really pushing me to a paid tier because they now offer the upload videos directly to their thing if you get off the founders plan. I'm a little bit troubled by that, but I'm curious as to if anybody fully integrated with a paid plan and has put videos directly on Patreon to change the subject quickly before we stop.
Yeah, I do.
Not YouTube links, but directly upload to Patreon through
Yeah.
the beta.
Yeah, although I'm
Works,
gonna,
it's good.
I don't really give a shit. Like, most of my stuff's on YouTube anyway, but it's for making really cool private content. Yeah, I guess it's cool. Yeah.
If you keep the really cool private content short, you can still post videos directly to Patreon.
Yeah,
Without
there's the
that.
upload from your phone device, but this
Yeah.
allows you to actually put what you would have shared on YouTube with a private link. You can now have a built-in player for those full-length videos
Yeah.
on, in beta on Patreon. So.
Yeah. Also, if it's only a 2-minute video, it doesn't even go with a private link to YouTube. If it's 2 or 3 minutes, I can't remember the limit on it exactly. But if it's a short video, it'll just post straight to Patreon.
Yeah. There are two systems. There's the sort of like vlogging to Patreon system, and then there's embedding a video full length thing. And they now have a third thing, which is you can upload full length videos to Patreon and skip the YouTube thing. So it's just a third feature that they've been talking about introducing for a while that they now have, which I think will be really good for the fans, and that's what it's all about. So
For sure. Okay, next week we're going to talk about something fun like synthesizers. And I thank everybody for your time today. It was bloody awesome. We are now going to shoot on over to... please, before I forget, join us here. Hold on. It's here. This time next week as well. We're right there on ANGELSPIT'S Twitch. Oh, man. My computer... Look, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Hey, Restream. Fuck off. Jesus Christ, fuck off. Yeah, anyway, this is me trying to raid right now, and I can't do it because Restream is being a piece of shit. Okay, fuck this shit. So anyway, we're going to attempt... Diana, if you're there, let's raid to MTV. My whole fucking world is falling apart. I hate this dog shit. Go away, dip shit. Thank you for raiding. You guys rock. The gods of computers hate us. See you next week. Next week, here. Join us for more